Minecraft servers are a great way to meet new people and build new things. However, there is one type of server called Anarchy, and you are free to build, destroy, or hack, as there are no rules at all. One such server within the Minecraft Bedrock Community is called Stormyland 101, and in today's video, I'll be showing you how my first few days went in this notorious Minecraft server. Right as soon as I spawned, I got 17 cobblestone, and I also noticed that it wasn't spawn trapped, unlike other Anarchy servers where usually people who spawn in are trapped. For example, I spawned in at the 2p2e server, and I was encased in a box of completely just cobblestone. Another difference is that it wasn't completely active, and at this moment I was the only person on there. I also noticed that there was a forest nearby, and it was taken well back, as usually within Anarchy servers, they're so griefed to the point where there are no forests at all. I was able to obtain the wood, but not without struggle. This becomes a common theme throughout my experience, as I experienced many mobs. Another thing I dealt with was lag. You're going to see here that I had a little bit of trouble picking up that wood block, and that's not the only problem I had with the lag. I also had problems dealing with mobs, as the mobs themselves were laggy, and also my sprinting and attacking was also delayed. However, in comparison to other servers that I've been in, the lag was not too severe, and it didn't hinder with my gameplay too much. As I continued through the forest, I was in search of a crafting table or another place where I could set up my tools. I also found some cake, which I would find all throughout the server. I got lucky and found a crafting table and was able to craft tools, such as an axe and a pickaxe. I saw another portal nearby and also obtained 16 pieces of cooked chicken. I entered the nether, knowing that what was on the other side might be trapped. I was lucky, however, I did get set on fire. Otherwise, there were no traps, unlike other Anarchy servers that exist. I also noticed that there was this new block, which was obsidian-like, but not obsidian completely. I also saw an ender chest and diamond blocks, and seeing the blocks, I knew that I could get an iron pick and hopefully mine them up. I left the nether to get enough iron, and also to escape the ghast, who could probably blow up my portal. I spawned back in and noticed that there was a diamond pickaxe in my inventory, and then turned back and saw an entire stack of diamonds. With these diamonds, I would be able to create enough armor to keep myself safe. So after crafting the armor, I put it on and was back on my way. I later crafted an axe just to keep myself safe from mobs. As I continued on the journey, I noticed one of the most weirdest things I've ever seen in my Minecraft experience. Blocks that were made from end portals. I'd later find out I couldn't enter through them because they were end portal blocks and not flat like a regular end portal. However, they were nice to look at, and after that I continued on my journey where I found a white block. While I was inspecting it, I encountered problems with a skeleton, so I killed it and went back to the white block. I was thinking that it was a TNT block that stopped right before exploding, and this was not the first one I saw in the entire server. I went back into the nether so that I could possibly get more diamonds and see what the rest of the nether was like. Again, I was set on fire, and this time I had absolutely no idea what set me on fire. I decided to get more blocks so that I could hopefully explore through the nether. And this is where one of the first cursed things happened. As I mined and fell through a hole, I fell into water in the nether. Colored blood red just to add to the shock. I was definitely taken aback by the fact that someone managed to code it so that there was water in the one dimension it shouldn't exist, along with a diamond rectangular frame and another portal that was out of place. After exploring the area, I decided to go back to the regular nether portal and hopefully return to the overworld. I wanted to do some more exploring within the nether, however, I wanted to save that for a different episode. I did, however, see a different nether portal nearby, so I decided to clear the area, and once the entire area was clear, I went to it and decided to enter. Unlike a regular nether portal, it took a little bit longer to enter through to the the overworld. And so, when I went back to the overworld, I noticed that my coordinates were way off from the ones I originally was at. However, I wasn't too far from the spawn. At this point, this is where the first person enters the game. However, I did not have any interaction with players directly. I continued on my journey by just retreating back to the nether so that I'd be able to re-enter the nether portal that would take me back to the spawn. Yet again, I entered the nether and I was on fire. So, in order to remedy that, I decided to go around the back of the portal near lava and place a barrier. However, I know that probably wouldn't have done enough, as the next time I enter the nether, I know for sure that I will be on fire. Luckily, I was back at the original portal that I went through, and I was back on my way. While on my journey, I found more of the obsidian-like blocks that resembled crying obsidian, but with a red tinge. While I was mining it, another player entered the server, and yet again, I did not have any interaction with them. After mining the obsidian, I decided to go on my way, and I had an interaction with the witch. At this point, I started running really low on food, and managed to eat my last cooked chicken. Right now, I only had 3 cooked mutton and rotten flesh from zombies I'd killed previously. I warded off a spider, and experienced some lag while doing so, and so I was not able to reach my diamond sword until the last second. I was able to ward off another zombie and collect some more rotten flesh. After stumbling across some ender chests, I noticed there was light, but no lava in a desert, and that only meant one thing: this was an end portal. However, unlike the end portal block, this one was enterable as it was flat. Now usually in Anarchy servers the end is a mess, and this was no different. However, this one gave me quite a shock, as not only did it have water, but it was completely submerged in water. I tried to reach the top of it, but with only a few bubbles of air left, I decided to retreat back to a large air pocket. Some other day, I would decide to go to the top. However, I did find some beacons, and they would prove to be extremely useful to me. I started by mining one of them, and after that, I decided to mine the second one. While retrieving the second one, I saw that the end was way too big and too full of water for me to do any exploration. So, I decided to swim around for a minute and then retreat back to the end portal. Upon entering the portal, I was amused that the Minecraft credits were playing, as usually you need to beat the Ender Dragon. However, through the glitches, I was able to enter the portal without beating the dragon at all. I also spawned at a completely different set of coordinates than I originally spawned at. I decided to continue on my journey and got poisoned by another witch yet again. While at half a heart, I looked at the chat and saw that one player had counted up to 1, which caused the other player's game most likely to crash. However, I was too low to worry about any of that at the moment. I encountered a ton of withers. However, this was not one of the encounters where I faced them head on. I did see a pig, so upon killing it, I got its pork, cooked it, and then after taking advantage of a bedrock only glitch, I had a stack of cooked pork, which would last me throughout my travels, or at least for the remainder of them. As I continued on my journey, I noticed that I had picked up some maps earlier. So I decided that I would eventually look at them, as they would most likely lead me to a player or some buried loot. After killing the skeleton, I decided to look through the 3 maps I had. However, they were not of much use to me, as I was too far from them, and they were also slightly glitched. So I continued on my journey. However, I faced withers head on. Although I saw the bar, I never saw the actual wither. While I was in my inventory inspecting the rows, I heard an explosion and saw a wither from afar. However, I didn't notice that the 2 wither hotbars were coming from 2 withers behind me. As soon as I saw them, I fled in the water thinking that they wouldn't hit me. But they did. And because I thought I was on hard mode, I knew that I'd need to escape them, otherwise I would die. But escaping did me no good. Even in spite of eating enough food to bring up my saturation, the hearts went all the way down. And although I was stuck on half a heart with the wither effect fading away, I still managed to die to the wither effect. While in the death screen, I noticed the generating world part, and as soon as I pressed respawn, I was at a completely different set of coordinates, almost 1,000 blocks away from my original spawn point. While I was at a ruined village, I realized that my saturation was going by extremely quickly, most likely due to the difficulty of the server. I cannot say for sure, however, I do believe it's on hard mode, and hence my saturation was going away so quick. I was on a journey to get all my stuff back. While on that journey, I saw some armor, and it gave me some hope, as I knew that that armor was there for a long time. What this told me was that my armor that I had left behind when I died would not despawn quickly. I also saw something extremely shocking. A shulker box appeared right in front of me, and within it was overpowered armor. So overpowered it could not be obtained within the game. All the enchanting levels were at 32,767, and some of them had enchantments that were not possible at all. For example, one of the blocks had power and punch enchantments. After emptying the contents of the box into my inventory, I put on the armor and knew that even though they were cursive binding, I'd never feel the need to take them off. The armor itself had protection and thorns of the highest levels possible, so I knew I was essentially inevitable unless another player could stop me, and knowing that it's an Anarchy server, anything was possible. However, mobs could not stop me, so when I came across this zombie, I was able to one-tap it. I was also able to turn enchanted golden apples into my main food source, so I'd never have to worry about food ever again. I continued walking towards my armor, and a wither shot at me. However, its health bar completely went to 0. Originally, I thought that was a glitch, but then I realized that my armor had killed it on contact. That gave me an idea of how strong the thorns were. Again, I encountered withers, and this time I decided to use my sword on it. One clean sweep later, the wither was gone. As I approached closer to my armor, I knew that the end of my journey was coming, but I occasionally checked the coordinates. While I was continuing on my journey, I noticed that there were XP levels and more items on top of the hill. While I was on top of the hill, I was able to find diamond armor, and so I put it on in replacement of my golden armor and continued on my way, close to the end of my journey. Upon killing the spider jockey, I saw my stuff, and my journey was over. I replaced the things that I didn't need with some of the things I had lost. And while I was checking my inventory, I looked at one of the hacked items, which... And that's how my first few days on the server went. This took me a lot of time to make, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you so much for watching.